Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about graphing linear functions using x and y intercepts and translated form. So please make sure you have your notebook, a calculator, and a pen or pencil out, please. All right. This next page is our learning target, so please make sure you get this into your notes. The first one says, I can determine the x and y intercept of a linear function. The second one is that I can graph a linear function using x and y intercepts. And the last one is that I can graph a linear function using translation of y equals x. So please make sure you get all three of these into your notes. All right, the next three slides you will not have to have in your notes. They're just a little reference for us. So this one you don't have to write down. But remember, we've just talked about this. We have y equals mx plus b. We were going to find our slope and our y-intercept. So our slope of this one is right here. It can be written m equals 6, or we can write it as m equals 6 over 1 because it's rise over run when we're talking about slope. Then there's our y-intercept, which is going to be at the end here. So our b equals 5. When we're graphing this, we do our b first. So these are counting up by 2s to 10. So 2, 4, 5 is going to be right here in the middle. Do that first. And then our slope is 6 over 1. So we go up 6 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. Or we can go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And then draw that line. So that's what we've already talked about. Today what we're going to do is talk about what if the equation isn't written in y equals mxb form. So we're going to have equations that it might be easier to solve different ways. So we're going to do either you could have solved for y if you want to, or we're going to talk about now finding the x and y intercepts. So you guys don't have to have this page written down for me, all right? Or this page. Okay, don't write this one down either. But if we're looking at this graph, we want to know where the x and y intercepts are and what they would be written as. So here's my x-axis. So if it's my x-axis, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This point is 6, 0. Now my y-axis, it's going to be my y-intercept because it crosses the y-axis. I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, but this one's written as 0, negative 4 because I didn't move left or right, just down. So what do these points have in common? This is what's really important. They both have zeros, okay? My x-intercept has the 0 in the y spot, and my y-intercept has the 0 in the x spot. That's very important for us to see and understand. Okay, so this doesn't have to be written in your notes either. This page, though, does please. Ways to sketch a quick graph of a line. So we have y equals mx plus b, which we use a lot. Now I need you to get this one down. This is our new one. We're going to be using intercepts. Okay, the x-intercept is a point where the graph crosses the x-axis. To find it, we need to make y equal to 0. And then we have our y-intercept is a point where the graph crosses the y-axis. To find it, we need to make x equal 0. Then we're going to plot both intercepts and connect the line. That's how we're going to graph using our intercepts. So make sure you have this written down, please. All right, example number 1 for this. So this also needs to go in your notes. We're going to find the x and y intercepts of the equation, and then we're going to draw a quick sketch. So first thing I'm going to do is find my x-intercept. In order to do that, remember, y has to equal 0. So I'm going to write my equation, 5x plus 2, y equals 20. Now instead of y, I'm going to plug in 0. So I have 5x plus 2 times 0 equals 20. That's just going to cancel. I get 5x equals 20. Solve this for x. I'm going to divide by 5. X equals 4. Now I'm not just finding what x and y equal, I'm finding a point. So remember, I have to write this. I let x is going to be 4, but I made y 0. So that's the point I'm going to use. That's the point I'm going to graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. That's right here. There's my x-intercept. Now I'm going to go back and find my y-intercept. So when we're finding our y-intercept, we're going to let x equal 0. So I have 5x plus 2y equals 20. Now I'm plugging in my 0 for x. So 5 times 0 plus 2y equals 20. That's going to cancel, so I get 2y equals 20 divided by 2, y equals 10. Now once again, this is a point, not just y equals. We let x be 0, and then we found y was 10. So there's my y-intercept. So here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Here's my point. Once I have both my x and y-intercept points, I'm just going to draw the line between them. So there's another way to graph a line. Right, now example number 2. So make sure you guys got example number 1 down in your notes. You also need to get example number 2 down in your notes. It says find the x and y intercepts. Use it to sketch a quick graph. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find my x-intercept. So when I do that, I'm going to plug in my 0 right away. So I have 4 times 0 equals 3x minus 9. Well, this is going to be 0 equals 3x minus 9. Get x by itself, I'm going to add 9. So 9 equals 3x divided by 3. X equals 3. But remember, we write it as a point, so we're going to have the point 3, 0 for our x-intercept. So we go over here. 1, 2, 3, 0 is going to be right here. Now we go back, we have to find our y-intercept now. To do that, we're going to plug in 0 for x. So we have 4y equals 3 times 0 minus 9. That's going to be 0, so I have 4y equals negative 9. Divide by 4, and y equals negative 9/4 or negative 2 1/4. Okay, so when I have that point, it's going to be 0, negative 2 1/4. And I'm going to put that onto my graph. So I go 0, negative 1, negative 2, and a fourth, it's going to be about right here, give or take. Okay, it's going to be pretty close, not exact. And then we're going to connect our points. So there's our line. All right, so please make sure you got this example down. All right, moving on. What happens if the form is 9y equals mx plus b and it's not easy to find the x-intercepts? Because that can happen sometimes. Sometimes we get some nasty decimals. So do I have to rewrite the equation in that form, or is there an easier way to graph? Well, the answer is yes, there is an easier way to graph when something looks like this. Y equals 2 parentheses x minus 3 plus 4. All right? You do not have to write this slide down, ladies and gentlemen, but this next slide I want you to. The new way we're going to talk about is the translated form. So we have that part in our notes. We can graph by solving y equals mx plus b, or the x-intercepts that we just talked about. Our new one, which I need you to add in your notes, this number 3 has to be added, please. You're going to be using the translated form of y equals x. So the form y equals m x minus h plus k. This is really important. Now here, we're going to plot the point h and k. So out in front first, you guys, this right here, this is our slope. These two right here, this negative h and k, this is going to be a point on our line. Alright, so we're going to plot the point first, h and k, and this, the h, you guys, why it's in red, it's always the opposite. So if this was a negative 3, we would write 3 down. Okay? After we do that, we're going to use our slope to find their second point, and then we can connect the points and make a line. So this is our new form. So make sure you get this part, the bottom part, number 3, in your notes. And we're going to move on to example number 3 that also needs to be in your notes. Here's example number 3. Okay, just the example part has to be on. We just wrote the top part on there. Okay, we are going to do this. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to identify our slope, so our m, and our point. Our slope equals what's up in front here, so that's our 2, or if you want to write it as 2 over 1, that's fine. Our point is going to be this part right here. This is our h, this is our k. Remember, our h is always going to be the opposite, so since this says -3, we're going to write 3, and our k is 4. So we're at the point 3, 4. Now that we have our slope and our point, now we can create our graph. First thing we're going to do, remember, is we're going to plot our points. So I'm going to go to 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go up 4. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be right here. Here's my first point. Now from there, after I do that, I'm going to use my slope to find the second point. So it's 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1. You can do it again, up 2 over 1. You can do it as many times as we want. Once we have those points, we're going to draw our line. And we're done. So that's the translated form. It has to be written in this way, though, to use this, okay? All right, moving on to our last example. So this example has to be in your notes, and this example also has to be in your notes, please. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our slope and our point. So our slope first is right here, up in front, so I have -2/3. That's my slope. Now my point is this right here, right? This is my h, this is my k. The h is always the opposite. So I have a +1, so here in my h, I'm going to have a -1. My k is -2. The k is always staying the same. Now to graph it, we just plot our point first. So I have -1, -2. We're going to be right here. There's my point. Now I'm going to use my slope to find my next one. It's -2/3. So I'm going to go down 2 and then over 3 to the right because it's a -1. So 1, 2, 3. Can do another one. Down 2 over 3 spots. Right there. Once we have that done, we can connect our dots, our points, and we have just created a line. Okay? So there's example number 4. Please make sure that's in your notes. All right. This doesn't have to be in your notes, but it's super exciting because soon we're going to be finding x-intercepts of y equals x squared minus 7x minus 8, and it's going to be fabulous. So that is coming soon. Get excited for that attraction, ladies and gentlemen. The last thing I need in your notes is a little summary. Okay, make sure that we know how to graph lines in all 3 different ways. The first way, remember, is using our slope-intercept form. That's that y equals mx plus b. We plot the point for our y-intercept first, at 0b. Then we use the slope to find our second point. Then we connect the points for our line. The second way that we talked about today was using x-intercepts, right, where we find the x-intercept by plugging 0 in for y and solving for x. Then we find the y-intercept for plugging 0 in for x and finding y. Then we plot both intercepts and connect it for the line. And then the last way that we talked about graphing lines was using the translation of y equals x, which the form is right here. That's really important. It has to be in this form in order to use this. Y equals m parentheses x minus h plus k, where the point is hk. Remember, h is always the opposite. K is the same, h is the opposite. Use the slope to find the second point, and then we connect those points to create our line. All right, wonderful people. That is all I have for you today. I hope you go out and have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will be seeing you soon. All right, have a good one. Bye.